Cash Flow Diary Podcast, episode 66.
Congratulations, you showed up. Give yourself a high five in celebration of your success. Welcome to the Cash Flow Diary, where new and experienced investors come to take confident action towards their goals. Your host is a family man, a real estate entrepreneur, investor, coach, and instructor. As a master facilitator of Robert Kiyosaki's Cash Flow 101 game, he's inspired many to begin their journey into creating cash flow for themselves and their family. And now, here he is to offer you the tools required to earn the income desired. Your cash flow coach, Jay Massey.
All right, and welcome to another episode of the Cash Flow Diary Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Massey, having lots of fun over here. Hopefully, you are as well. As you know, if you've been listening to us for the past two episodes, you have been eagerly awaiting this episode because this is the third and final episode of the live event. So what we've done is we've taken an excerpt out of the live event. It was 2 days up in Sacramento. It was awesome. Met lots of cool people. And some of you couldn't be there, right? So this is the best that we can do is we can get it over to you. For those of you who are already in our membership, you know how much these live events mean, how much fun that we get to have, and you guys get to watch them, which is great. And for those of you listening on the podcast, hey, this is what we can do for you. That way, at least you can feel like you were there. Now, in this particular section and clip, you're going to hear, you've probably heard me say it many times again, and you'd be like, why does Jay keep talking about it? Well, for those of you joining us for the first time, you've heard of me talk about learninvestingnow.com. That's what I'm telling you to do. Go over to learninvestingnow.com. We've been talking a lot about raising private capital. If you want to figure that out right now, now's the time to go to learninvestingnow.com before we change it to something else. Right now, it's about raising private capital. Go get it started. Get the ebook, listen to the previous two episodes. I promise you, it'll help you. The other thing I've often talked about is Begin Investing Now, the turnkey service for our investor-ready rentals, etc. This particular excerpt, as I'm answering a question that as it relates to turnkey models and buy and holds and single family, etc. So for those of you, if you've ever been interested in building your cash flow in a very simple, straightforward fashion, what you want to do is you want to listen to this episode, especially this first part here. And you want to get over to begininvestingnow.com, begininvestingnow.com. Lastly, but not leastly, many of you know the book we get closer and closer and closer and closer to making this all happen. So you want to grab a copy of the book, go over to cashflowdiary.com/book, and or you can go straight to us as well by sending a text message to 949-682-3565. 949-682-3565. The keyword is book. And again, the number is 949-682-3565. Enough of that. Let's get you guys into the live event.
Have your with your single family home kind of model? Did you ever get into auctions and did you have success with that, or what was that?
So when I do a single family home, like we have a turnkey service that provides non-recourse lending. I call it our 50-50 program. You put half the retail price down, we carry the other half. Most of those come from HUD. So we have a contract with HUD in one region. We also buy a lot of seller direct properties and pre-foreclosures, those types of things. We fix them up, blah, blah, blah. When it comes to auctions, I did play around with, my favorite type of auction is a tax auction, not the standard foreclosure auction. I played a lot around with those because they were an easy entry point, because the entry point on a tax auction is typically lower, well, outside of California, typically lower than the actual foreclosure auction and where I would go. There are some jurisdictions when it comes to tax auctions, because I happen to be from Fayetteville, North Carolina, also known as Cumberland County, where Fort Bragg is. And that particular area, when they're doing a tax auction, and I kid you not, it's the craziest thing I ever heard of. Because typically auctions stay away because you're like, I don't have enough money. Mm-hmm. But it's not that you don't have enough money, it's that you don't have enough time to go get the money. In this particular case,
what happens is that when they do a tax auction, you only have to put up to 5% down of whatever that final price is, and then they give you 30 days for the rest. Now, that I don't know if it was a happenstance that I found that out, but when I found that out, there are other counties that do the same thing. You don't need all of the money at the auction on the auction day.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's all I needed is I needed time. Because that's the same thing as getting the property under contract, right?
It's a game changer.
And then you can go out there and market what you have under contract and get whatever else you need.
Yeah.
So that was one of the first transactions that I attempted, and I had my mom going back and forth. I would wire her money, Western Union, to send the money, and she would go down to the county courthouse, and she's like, "Boy, you better know what you're doing." You know, I'm like, "Don't worry about it, Mom. I'll figure it out as I go," because I didn't know what I was doing. All I knew was the ARV was 130,000. The bid was 4,400. I can't
4,400?
make too big of a mistake and mess this up. I just, and it got me in the game, placing offers and making this thing happen. And believe me, I felt that same emotion. What if I get it? Oh God, how am I gonna execute? I don't know. But you know what? There are people called realtors who sell houses. So maybe they'll help me. And then I had to stop and think about it. Wait, they're on commission. Of course they're gonna help me.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a could you imagine? Let's just, for hypothetically speaking, let's say I get the property, even if I get it at 20 grand, it's worth 130. And you go to a realtor and say, hey, I'd like you to sell this property. I'll pay you 7% on this listing, but you got to sell it in 15 days or less. Now, first of all, do I have their attention?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the questions probably the first question they're going to ask is, okay, what do you want to sell it for? And I say, you pick.
Pick the price.
Because I'm in at 20. Right. They're not going to even come anywhere near where I'm in. They're not incentivized to come anywhere near where I'm in. But I say, you pick. Do I care? Not really. Right? Take the fast nickel over the slow dime. And that got me started. So from tax deeds, and I never closed one of those deals, but it got me started because I got the experience. That's why I tell everybody, your first deals, the most profitable thing you get from your first deals is the experience, not the money. Leave the money on the table, take the experience, then learn to market your experience and you'll be fine. That is the key. So, and then I also learned, and this still plagues me because I wish my wife wasn't in the room while I'm saying this one, but I started seeing tax sales on timeshares. It's real estate, right? I want a timeshare. I don't just want to pay 20 grand for it. Wait for the tax sale. Go buy it that way. Same thing. Because if they're not paying their house mortgage, they definitely ain't paying the one on their timeshare. And you can just sit there and pick these things up for $300, $400, $500, $600, $700. It's the same thing, just for the back taxes. And then you're gonna have to, you gotta take care of the maintenance and all that other stuff. But they're sitting there right now. They're on eBay. You can pull up your phone and see people who are selling these right now. They bought them at a tax sale. That's exactly what they did. And they're just sitting there. And then I have to turn it off again and ignore it, right? Because that takes work. But I'm saying that to you because that could be your way in. You only need a few $100s. But you make a few thousand, which is technically double the money, right? And then you do that again, you do it again, you do it again, you do it again. And I just told you, you can find the property online. You typically bid for assets or your county recorder office. Because I assume you guys have tax shares or timeshares somewhere around here. Or if they're not, they're definitely in San Francisco, right? Yeah, or Tahoe. Exactly. You've got them. They're there. And if you begin to look them up, you'll find the ones that are on the way to tax sale. And then when you get confirmation that you won that bid, put it on eBay. And the person who's on eBay is going, ooh, I got a deal. And they did. But so did you. Everybody wins. And that was the beginning of me understanding truly how wholesaling worked. It was like, oh, this makes sense. I get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask you earlier, you mentioned about
Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you. Forgive me for sitting.
No.
My feet hurt. Cole Haan can only do so much for my feet right now.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, well, they have been infected. I love it. Yes.
You thought about a book. I thought many times it would be great to hear from many practitioners who have made mistakes along the way. I found that fascinating just to think the struggles you went through, where you are now, and show the comparison off, and I think both would sell. And bloopers, they do it all the time, things like that. But I thought, has people asked you many times to do something like this, or you just thought it
Do
yourself?
something like what?
A book on all the mistakes you've made.
Well,
Oh, that.
there is a, I mean, that's a whole, here's my challenge. I had to cut it down. I had to cut this thing down to 320 pages. Because otherwise it would have been 600-700 pages and no one's gonna read that.
Right.
Well, you would, but the point is when this, let's hypothetically, but not so hypothetically, say I'm on Good Morning America. And I say, yeah, it's a 700-page book. I just lost half the audience right there. They're just like, I ain't doing that, you know? So I had to cut it down. In fact, they wanted it a little smaller, but I was like,
Volume 2.
we've already, yeah. And so I've done the best I can to include, you know, some of everything in there. Definitely mistakes, because I think you're going to learn a lot from those. I have, you know, and that's why they're in there. So it's not all about success and everything going well, because that doesn't have that's not reality. It's just not reality. I don't care who you're learning from. It's not reality.
Your book is an easy read. I read some of it during lunch.
Thank you.
It's an easy read.
Okay, he said it's an easy read. Now, understand, the impetus behind Cash Flow Diary, the whole thing, was that I had two friends pass away, Justin Yates and Chad Wade. And they passed away same time, plane crash. And that got me to thinking, that could have just as easily been me. And what would I have left to my children? Okay, yeah, assets is wonderful, but I think knowledge and my experience is more valuable. So I was like, cool, I need to keep a diary. Well, what is it really a diary about? It's a diary about cash flow. And well, if I'm writing it for kids, if I'm keeping it for kids, it's gotta be simple. So simple a 9-year-old could get it. Here it is. And then the idea said, I bet adults probably want this too. I know it's like that you had to get to that idea. Yeah, because it wasn't the reason, that wasn't the reason from the beginning. The reason was to give my kids a way to document the process of what Dad thought, how Dad tackled all the challenges that they're likely to encounter if something were to happen. That way they'd have a shot. And keep it simple as I possibly could, so that they could go out there and duplicate it. And then it just occurred to me that, hey, adults probably want this too. And then we've set up on this journey of figuring out how to deliver it to adults online, offline, and in various different medias. And then I learned, hey, people started saying, you're pretty good on the radio. Thanks. You're a pretty good interviewer. Thanks. And then I had to find people that could help me to get this out, and that's where Jacob and Drew come in. If you like that video you saw, that 3-minute video, that was an awesome video, okay? Drew made that in like 72 hours. I was like, oh my God, give me 3 years and I'm not even coming close to that, you know? And I'm like, sweet, and let everybody do what they do best. That's probably one of the things we do the best, is we let everybody do what they do best. You have to come at least in here if you're gonna raise your hand. Oh.
At least step in the door.
I can't hear you. You have to come in. So.
And you have to use the microphone.
Yeah, and you have to use the microphone.
You gotta state your name.
And you gotta state your name, where you're from, how old you are. No, just kidding. Yeah, right. It's over here.
Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, that's funny. You're killing me, man.
Where are you from, Lisa?
Yeah, I know, right?
Hi, I'm Lisa.
what's that?
I'm from Sacramento. Actually, I'm from Auburn now.
Yeah, Auburn.
Thank you. Thanks to Jay who helped us
Hey,
find our
Bugsy.
place where we found our house. When are you going to have the book available in audiobook?
Yes, okay, good answer. Good question, great answer. What's today? What is today? Is today's Saturday or Friday? Saturday. Okay, Thursday. I was at an event and Mark Kohler walked in. It was awesome because Matt Sorensen was talking. And we started hanging out in the back, and he was asking me the same question. Are you going to do an audiobook? And my face just, I want to do it, but the people in the company want me to do it. They want me to do it. And I'm like, because I had this picture in my head of what it was all going to take. And he was like, dude, let me tell you how I did it. And then he told me, and I was like, that's it? Okay, I can do that. And he's like, yeah, dude, you should be able to bust this thing out in about a week. So I was like, okay. So I don't even know if have I told you guys, Jacob? I think so. Okay, I'm just making sure. Because sometimes they find out same time you do. Yes, there will be an audio version available. Yes, our intent is to have it available in Audible. And here's the accountability. The goal is to have it available by April 29th. Yeah. So when I get back, that's like my major focus is to bust through this thing using the techniques that Mark was talking about. And there will likely be additional information in the audiobook because we all know how good I am at staying on topic.
So you have a podcast?
Yes, there is a podcast, cashflowdiarypodcast.com. There's 61 episodes up there at the moment between 40 minutes to an hour, various entrepreneurs, and the whole show is about how they generate cash flow. What have you learned from your stresses? We've had John Assaraf, we had Billy Blanks, who was on Shark Tank. I don't know if you saw that. So he was on the show. Obviously, Mark Kohler, Tom Wilwright from the Rich Dad organization. Who else? The son of Zig Ziglar, Tom Ziglar, that's right. What'd you say, Jacob? Oh, John Lee Dumas. I don't know if you even know him yet, but you will. Entrepreneur on Fire, he's killing it right now on iTunes. I mean, a number of other people. I've even had one of my investors on there because he's from Germany. You're like, how did that happen? Technology, right?
Can you mention that name again, Jay?
Which one?
You just
Cashflowdiarypodcast.com.
Okay.
Type that in, and it's going to forward you to iTunes. Okay. And if you do it on an iPhone or iPad, you just hit subscribe, and it starts downloading immediately. So yeah, and it's there, and we produce it every week. We do our best to get good quality guests and content, and I'm often talking about whatever I'm doing because that's what's on my mind, you know, whatever it is. If I've recently made a mistake, you're probably going to hear about it. And if I've recently had a success, you're probably going to hear about it. You know, whatever is going on. And remember, the whole point is to document this journey. Mm-hmm. And that's as it is, that's what we're doing. Because my intent is to have 1,000 units of rental property here in the U.S. and 1 million square feet of commercial property here in the U.S. And then obviously my resort outside the U.S. So that's the idea. And this is the documentation of that journey on the way.
Good for your kids
Correct. Good for my kids.
and for us.
And now for adults.
Where are you right now on that number of reaching?
We're about a third of the way there from the residential, and we just started that commercial thing. Just happened because I just got my first commercial property September of last year, and it was my first time trying it. And I just learned it's a completely different network up there. I actually bought the building from one of the Major League Baseball team owners, so I'm just like, ooh, I can play here. Cool. So. Because I eventually want to own an NBA team. So that's part of my plan. This is how I get there. Yeah. Besides the season tickets. What's that? Oh, Mike, yes. 1 second. Okay, she's been holding the mic. And then we'll get it there. Go ahead.
Janet, Sacramento.
Hi, Janet.
You were mentioning about timeshares, and I have 24 of them.
God. Okay.
And what I do with them is I can lease them or I rent them to corporations.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. My point in saying that is a couple of things. There's many ways to play this game, especially the timeshare game. For example, because some of you know the answer to this question, you just haven't thought about it this way yet. Where's the Super Bowl next year? Where? I mean, I don't know. I'm just, since Denver is up here.
Well, Santa Clara.
Okay.
It's Super Bowl 50. Next year's 49.
Okay, either one. Okay, let's use Super Bowl 50. Either way. He's like, no, we're not there yet. But here's my point. The reason I'm saying it is because no one's paying attention. So guess what's on sale right now and really cheap? All of those timeshares that you could go buy. You could go buy 24 in that time period so that by the time Super Bowl 50 comes around, guess what? Guess what you're going to lease out? Every one of them. And the sooner you get that sucker up there, guess what's going to happen? People are going to contact you because everybody's going to be focused on Santa Clarita, or what did you say? Santa Clara. They're going to be focused on that area. But you know it now. Go buy the darn thing now. Rent it out until then, and then you'll get a premium on that moment. You'll get a premium during that time. You're going to make decent money because it's the Super Bowl. You don't even have to pay for the advertising. They're going to be looking for you. And you get to choose what to sell it for. I mean, we're talking tens of thousands a week at that point. You know, just for that one weekend, because it'll probably be for the entire week, because they're going to come in early, drink all week, and drink during the game, and drink after, and then leave. And you're going to be right there. Anyway, these are the things I think about. Here's another one. Where's the Olympics going to be next?
That's where I did the one in China.
But you're catching my point. But that's my point. I'm looking for where customers are going to need a service using real estate. That's all I'm doing. I'm not overly genius. It's just people need a place to live, work, play, or lay. Provide it to them. Get there first. You know, look in the newspaper. You saw me do all these things. Yeah. Okay.
That's kind of the question I had was, have you looked at any new emerging markets besides of course, out of the country stuff? Have you looked at any other states here
No.
within the United States?
I'm really concerned about our economy right now, which is why I'm looking at markets outside of the economy too. It's a diversification play outside the U.S. dollar for that very purpose. I have too many assets denominated in U.S. dollars.
So as the information comes clear from the SEC on the
Yes.
crowdfunding, do you have plans for disseminating that information among the network?
I do not. Matt Sorensen probably would. Okay. I'm not the securities attorney. He is. I plan on using it. But yeah, he would be your source.
If it does come out, I can fly it out.
Yeah, it's not if, it's just a matter of when. And yeah, he's going to be hyper busy.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
The club?
Yeah.
So Matt's going to be at my club in May.
Oh, okay. No, it's fine. Oh, cool. Mark and Mac, same day, same month?
Matt Sorensen.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, he was saying Mark was coming, and he's saying Matt's coming.
You got him like the 14th. What day? Third Wednesday of the month.
That's awesome. Cool. Wow, it should be. Should be really expensive, but it won't.
Yeah, that's 21st. Yeah. So we're going to have Mark here on the 17th.
And then Matt there. That's awesome. Never mind. Well, there y'all are well taken care of. All I'm saying is, there you go.
Better get a bigger building. Thank you.
Yeah.
The hotel. Oh, I'm sorry. You're at a hotel.
So, anyway, but yeah, Matt's going to be your source. He's my source. He's my source. So that I'm just waiting. Well, I'm not just waiting. I'm preparing. You've seen me preparing all weekend. Everywhere I go, this is what I'm doing. I'm preparing because it's going to happen. And I want my company, my family, my investors to be able to leverage what's going to be possible. So, anyone else? I don't know where it is. Yes, sir. Mike's behind you.
In Belize,
Yeah.
do you have something down at, well, you talked about it the other cash flow, you had all those
The dice.
dice. Do you have quite a bit of property down there, or nothing at all, or?
It's, okay. When it's all said and done, dozens upon dozens of acres. We're shooting for somewhere between 800 and 1,000 units total inside the resort. We've only got about 60 or 70 out of the ground at the moment. It's going to take us some time, but we'll get it done.
Did you acquire someone down there to look for you, or were you doing it yourself?
It's a much bigger, larger team because there's been people who've got this international experience as well, plus partnering with the land developer, plus partnering with the government, because some governments are entrepreneurial, and just making it all work together. So it is a ginormous effort for the country. It would not make news here, but it's a ginormous effort for that country. So yeah, it's huge for them. Huge for them. Yeah.
And are you going to be offering timeshares for that?
She laughs. Yet my wife and I went to Miami because I guess there's this conference that teaches you how to do timeshares, because we were actually examining that very question. At the moment, no. The answer at the moment is no. That doesn't mean it won't change. It's just at the moment, that's not the highest and best use, okay, of the property. However, when I look at the numbers, oh God, do they make sense?
Just a vacation spot?
Yeah, it's a total vacation play, A-class, all pretty, all white. Very similar styling to the book, actually, when you go. It's very similar styling to the book. It's kind of funny. So, but yeah, it's nice. Go ahead, if you have another.
So I have another question. Okay.
Yeah.
So if somebody were to invest overseas,
Yes.
how does it work with the money? Are you setting a total entity up over there and all money stays over there?
Or
Or are you pulling some of that as income back to you here? Or I don't have any other ors.
Yeah,
You tell me.
You're hitting on exactly the conversation Matt and Sorensen and I are having right now. I'm working with another guy in New Jersey who specializes in international tax, et cetera, to put the structure together. Because there are a number of benefits, just like the profit analysis quadrant, right? There are a number of benefits to leaving money offshore once it's offshore. There's a number of benefits to earning money offshore and leaving it offshore. And then there are some needs where you can earn money offshore and have it come back. Yet there's tax issues, and then there's reporting requirements. And I'm way more concerned about the reporting requirements than I am the tax issues. Because I just don't think Obama needs to know what I got.
You may need to become a citizen of Belize.
What's that?
I said you may need to become a citizen of Belize.
Funny enough, you want to know one of the easiest ways to qualify?
Owning property.
Own real estate. And
Are there squatters' rights in Belize?
that's a good question. Not that I'm aware of, but I haven't actually researched that because it's more about, it's not like California.
No, Costa Rica squatters' rights. If
Yeah.
you leave the property open, somebody moves into it, and
Right.
for like 30 days or 90 days or something, they can own the property.
Yeah. No, the issue, it's no different, because they're on English common law. This is where I was going with the whole Mexican, so yeah, we're fine. And that's one of the reasons. There are many reasons I like the country. The food is pretty, but it's English common law. You know, I'm used to that. I know what that feels like. I can hold fee simple title. And oh, great, the official language happens to also be English. So it makes it very, very easy to transact business. But more importantly, if you get hurt, you can actually talk to a doctor and expect them to know English, right? You know, those are the type, that's when it matters, right? And I've gotten some of the best healthcare over there for pennies. You don't even talk about the cost of living. It feels like it's free, man. You can take a $20 bill and eat multiple meals it's just not even right. It's just crazy, but it's awesome. Yes.
I got one more for you, Jay. I've heard you break down your company structure
Yeah.
before, but I was curious to know how you actually went about picking your CFO and your COO, and what was
You're
your
not gonna like my
evaluation
answer.
process with that.
I found him at a cash flow game, or for someone who was at all of them. I told you weren't gonna like my answer. I was like, dude, play cash flow. I can track every resource to a cash flow game or someone who came from a cash flow game. I'm not kidding. I played cash flow with a Renatus student. She introduced me to my CFO. I played cash flow directly with my VP of operations. I'm not kidding.
So, second part, so at what point do you feel you bring somebody like that aboard? At what point in your
Got it.
business do you?
I do this with nearly everybody. I want to test them out because I don't know if they're going to have the character that I want them to have to be a part of the company. And I got to find out, do they even have any sort of work ethic? This is the thing that's disappearing these days. And so typically most people, before they get hired on or paid anything, they work for a period of time at no compensation because I need to know. And as soon as they say I'm not willing to do that, that's fine by me. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so back to cash flow.
The game?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're getting together and doing your cash flow games, are you specifically marketing for a particular situation, money people, or are you just openly holding like a meetup with cash flow? Just kind of wondering if there's like a specific, because we do get together obviously with new students when we play cash flow, but sometimes they're at varying different levels, and if I was looking for something specific, it may or may not be necessarily at that level of education. So do you partition them and do different cash flows, or does it not really matter in your experience?
Got it. What's the answer?
Don't bring a wolf with other sheep.
He says, well, that's true too. But here's the thing. I don't care. It's right. Oh, where is it? He or she who educates dominates.
Okay.
Where did that one go?
Oh, no.
Did someone like take it home?
Okay, so,
Why didn't it go up?
okay, Jay, so, okay, so I understand that. So when you're putting together your cash flow,
I
you're
don't
just
care who
putting it
shows.
together for a cash flow
I don't
in
care
general.
who shows up, because remember what I said. The person that I'm talking to is likely not the one that I'm going to do business with anyway. My goal isn't to do business with you. My goal is to get you to introduce me to everyone you know. If I've got to play cash flow with you first, fine. Because somebody, I was taught, what was the phrase? Every dud knows a stud.
Got it. Okay, so you're open, you're just, okay, that was my question. So you're not specifically going, I need to raise capital now, so I'm going to put together these
Oh, no, I
money
didn't say
people
that.
together.
My intent
That's what
is
I'm
to
asking.
have the game to raise capital.
Okay,
But I don't care who comes, because at some point,
but
I
are
know.
you marketing specifically to a sect of people or just people in general?
No, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Put it in Starbucks. The people
Okay,
who
got it.
come will know the people you need to know, or they'll be the person. Yeah,
Okay.
6 or less. It does, yeah, and that's
Okay.
what I do. If you have the person have such a good time, they're gonna come back with friends. Eventually, they'll say, "Hey, can we just do one of these privately? I've had this happen. Hey, can I just get a group of my own friends together, and will you come and do it?" What's the answer? When, where, yeah.
But you're doing them on a smaller group, like so.
I don't care,
Do
small
you do
or
them a
large.
large group or do you typically
I've
do
done
smaller
both.
groups?
I don't care.
You don't
Do them.
care.
There
Okay.
is no, it doesn't matter. Do
Okay.
it. 6 person
it.
or 100 people. Get it done. It's
Okay.
irrelevant. Just do it because it positions you as the expert. And that's all that matters. Yes?
So Ray's doing the paid events. Are you
I've done paid and I've done not paid. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Depends if you have overhead to pay for or not. If you've got overhead to pay for because you went to a restaurant and they making you get food, then it's a paid event. If you don't care, doesn't matter. I don't care. The day of the week doesn't matter. The time of day doesn't matter. I have done this thing every way from Sunday, and I'm just like, it just doesn't matter. People are going to show up. And I let them. And you give them such a good time that they want to come back. they're like, oh my God, I can't believe what I just learned in playing a game. All those people who came the other day, who was here and played cash flow yesterday? Even you, would you come back? Yeah.
That's how I got started with this.
That's my point.
Are we going to play now?
Right. Now you understand why we didn't leave till 6 in the morning, because we just kept playing over and over again. It was ridiculous. But that's what I'm trying to say. How you execute it isn't as important as that you execute
So
it.
how you executed it last night
Is exactly what I do.
Okay.
And in fact, I bet you it would probably help you if there was a video course available that actually had an example of how I executed cash flow, and you probably pay $49 for that too.
That was recorded in the Thomas.
Yeah, right. Yes. It will be available soon, because having now done this internationally with the Kiyosakis and others present, right now, oh, honey, I just got to do it while I'm thinking about it. We need to come up with like a 2 or 3 week period, maybe during the summer, when we could go to London. Okay, thank you. Because I have an invitation for someone who runs a very large London-based networking group. And what they want me to do, they literally want me to go from networking group to networking group over like a 3 or 4 week period and do cash flow. I'm like, okay, sounds good to me. They speak English at least. What's that? Sorry, James. But do you?
How many do you do on the average, like in a week? Like,
What's that?
are you doing them weekly, or do you do a couple?
No, I don't have time to do them weekly anymore. I really don't. I wish I did. However, I'm going, when I get back to Orange County, I'm going to see about working with a guy who can at least get the organizational pieces and promotion pieces together so we can do them on a consistent basis, because I got to raise a lot of money to finish this hotel.
But if you were in the position,
If I was you guys, I'd be doing them a minimum of twice a month, but I would be the instructor person doing them. I have no problem with you guys doing them in a group, but you should also be doing them at your house. You should be also doing them at a restaurant, where you are holding the microphone and you're the one who's talking. Make sense? Microphone is over here. So, he's just doing his thing. Ignore Drew. Ignore him for now. He's getting candid. Yeah, go ahead.
So I was, I forgot what I was gonna.
Oh, while we're on the subject, and not to plug the book again, but to tell you how to use it appropriately. Because here's the thing. If you want to continue to position yourself as the expert, what you do is you educate to dominate. One of the things that helped me the most at cash flow games, and I did it for you yesterday, is that I gave away other people's books. Well, obviously now I give away my own darn book. But that's how I started. I gave away other people's books as prizes for getting out of the rat race. It was subtle. You didn't get it. You thought it was just about my book. But the point is that now I'm positioned as an expert in their minds, because I help them educate. When they learn anything positive from this book or any book I give them, they associate it with you. Make sense? Yeah. So you should steady supply. I still look in my bookshelf. I have extra Rich Dad books. I have extra other people's books just because that's just what I was doing to help and educate other people. So having multiples is a good thing. Okay, just keep that in mind. Yes, now you remember.
So two things. One, I will take those 2 books. And
there you go.
And I don't recall you doing the profit analysis quadrant during the cash flow game, but is that typical that you do that?
It's typical that I do not do that. That's exactly right. I don't want to do the profit analysis quadrant during the cash flow game.
That's for your appointments.
That's for the appointment after at Starbucks.
Oh.
That's what I do. That's for the appointment after at Starbucks. So you've seen me do my entire process. If you've been here both, you've seen the entire thing. Just do that. I'm not kidding. Don't change a darn thing. Yes, yeah, right. Oh, go ahead.
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
And I was wondering,
has that guy called back?
No, he hasn't.
Okay, that's
but
fine.
please believe I might call him on Monday.
Okay, good.
when you meet with people at your appointments and you're explaining the quadrant, and is there ever a point to where they want to become an investor like you are? Do you like?
Oh, I get that all the time.
Do you like? Is that where you bring them into either Renatus or your trainings that you have?
Yep, that's how I've done that. Yes, the short answer is yes. There's always a point at which they go, because they see what I earn or what my company earns, and they see what they earn and they feel it's fair. They're just like, dude, I want to be you. Totally understood. Well, here's what you need to do, and I help them continue their education. Absolutely, guaranteed, all the time. In fact, one of the first couples I did that, I should have told them I was up here. I totally forgot. Dang it. Oh well. One of the first couples I did that with, they actually live up here. They live up here. They did the essentials course. They have about 4 single-family houses now, et cetera, et cetera. And anyway, they're doing fine. She's doing her own thing. She's got it. So yeah, absolutely. Hold on. He's coming. I just need to drink water. I have an audiobook now to do.
Next, you're going to create a water company, huh?
Yeah. Don't get me started. Stop. Focus. Stop. Focus. Yes.
So how much money do you need to complete your hotel project that you were talking about?
20 million. 20 million is the total for what I'm responsible for. It's about a 5 to 7 year return on 100% of the capital, all strictly from cash flow with no refinance, because there is no leverage in the country at the moment for new purchases and new construction. However, if struck, and it's one of the rare opportunities where you've now seen the profit analysis quadrant, right? It's one of the rare opportunities where I give, in this particular case, 80% of the deal to the investor, because it's the cash flow is that strong, and I don't need all that money. Plus, a significant portion of my money is going to go to Hope Worldwide, which is a cause I talk about in the book, as well as another nonprofit that we're forming for the purpose of funding nonprofits on a consistent basis so that they don't have to beg for money. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, go ahead.
I have 2 people that could give you $20 million if you show them how to benefit them.
Okay.
When could I put them in touch with you?
Can you or will you?
I can. I will. You tell me when.
Yeah. Write this down. 949-682-7468. Her name is Andre, Andree. She is out of the office for death in the family. She'll be back Tuesday. Give her a call. Tell her we met here, and I said to set you up, let's go for an hour, all right? And we'll talk about what that looks like and make that happen.
I was going to say, I know somebody too that do 100 million or more.
Okay, sounds fine. It's the same thing, 949-682-7468, and we'll figure it out. Yes?
I don't know if you remember the deal that you used last time you were out here, your 1.8 million for the profit analysis quadrant, several units. But that, personally, I think that was a great way of explaining it versus just the 50,000 and that. So I really like that.
The problem is that, and I chose the 50,000 for multiple reasons, but I hear you. I chose the 50,000 because it was a number people could get their mind around. And it's actually based upon an example of the types of houses that we provide as a turnkey investment.
Oh, okay.
And so, because I wanted to show people, the value of the house doesn't have to go up in order for you to earn money and make decent money.
That I do like, the zero.
That was the whole purpose. So it was for a different purpose. I get you. I like that one too, but that had a different purpose. So because I wanted to illustrate a zero, because it's a sexy tagline. How do you tell somebody zero, look, I can get you 12% with no appreciation. You're like, what? What is that? How does that work? Yeah. And they want to know. And then you can show them. And they're like, wow, that's cool. But what if there is appreciation? And that's the response you want, right? So those are the types of things that I'm talking about. Someone else?
Anybody? Bueller.
What's that?
Bueller.
So, cash or check? Or, debit card. Cash is best. Okay, perfect. Well, here's the thing. Knowledge is.
We already have a verbal agreement. So
Yeah.
If you would like one.
Yeah, I'm fine. No problem. There's a text message thing right over there. Yeah, go ahead. He's like, look at that possession. He's just like, look, let me end this. Let me end this discussion and close escrow. He's like, no, let's just get this done.
Wait, let me think about it.
He's like, it's over. But that's what I'm talking about. Anyway. Yes. What happened? What happened? It worked out for me.
You're getting a profit right now. I'm going to give you 35 apiece. You bought it for 50 each.
Nope.
No. Yes, I like that.
I bought
you
those
just made.
Clouded title.
Hey, Jacob.
Clouded title.
Why was I concerned? You're like, what was I concerned about? Jeez, we got to order more books. Order more books. You got to tell Sandy. Guys, remind me to tell Sandy. We got to order a whole lot more books. Because, hey, whatever.
Were we the first group?
Yeah. No, yeah. These are, they literally hit my office floor on Wednesday. They barely just got here. We were stressing like, I told them I was bringing them.
Yeah, I heard that on Monday, the Monday webinar. You're
Yeah.
like, I hope they get here. And I'm like, yeah, so do I.
Yeah. I was like, I told them they'd get here. UPS, you have no idea how intensely we were tracking. I'm just like, yeah, I know. And I'm just like, please, dear Lord Jesus, whatever you got to do, get that airplane and those books here. Yeah, and I was like, awesome. I love the cover and the feel, though. That was the one thing I was like, oh, I love this. There's just so much you get to choose. Anyway, yes,
I
go
was
ahead.
going to make a quick statement.
Yes, sir, how can I help?
wanted to say thanks to you and James for allowing people to actually get a free copy of the book by registering early, because there's people that did not register early and probably wish they could have, because they would have got a better offer. So
Oh, sure.
just want to say thank you to both.
Is that what you did? I was wondering how you saw. I was like, how did you do that?
The first 50 people got a book.
Oh, smart man.
It was a $20 event for them.
Oh my God.
So,
Oh my God.
we were going from free workshops to paid workshops because of the growth that we're having.
Sure. Yes, exactly. At some point, you can't keep it free.
The other thing about it is the book, getting it into 50 people's hands.
Oh, yeah.
Now about 80 of them. It's going to validate the community and what we do and how we do it.
Correct.
There's a bigger purpose.
Yep.
Well, I know there's a bigger purpose.
Yep.
For what has been created, or there wouldn't have been a huge investment into the office. You guys,
Yep.
by really supporting and helping change people's lives,
Yep.
we are changing one person at a time.
Yep. And that's the thing. And here's one of the last things I want to keep in mind. The most difficult thing you're having, if you're having trouble selling a deal, moving product, etc., the reason you're having the trouble is because you have to fight for the attention of your prospect. Okay? That's what you're fighting for. Attention share. Part of the reason I love my podcast is because I get my potential prospect's attention for 40 minutes to an hour every week. Part of the reason the book will help you, especially if you're the one that gives it to them, because they're going to read that and they're going to ask you the questions, because they're going to be too darn scared to call me, which is fine. And they're going to ask you the questions. And what's going to be great is now you're prepared to answer those questions. And every time they touch the book, read the book, learn something from the book, they're going to associate that with you, and they're going to go, wow. And you're going to have their attention for however long it takes for them to read the book.
Okay. Well, now I've taken you backstage as well, right? So you got a sneak peek at there was just an impromptu, if you will, question and answer section. And that was only a little bit of it, because they had tons and tons and tons of questions, which was good. And I like, that, there's something to give. There's something that I can help with in answering all of those questions. Hopefully that helped you here today as well. If you want to still go pick up a copy of the book, it's not too late. Go over to cashflowdiary.com/book, or send us a text message to 949-682-3565. 949-682-3565. The key word is book. Keyword is book. You can do that, and we'll send you an email, which makes it very, very simple for you to go ahead and begin to get the digital copy and or the physical copy, your choice. We'll send them straight to you. It'll be excellent and awesome. Well, guys, it's been another fun episode hanging out with you. I appreciate you listening, and I look forward to talking to you again. Until next time.
Thank you for investing your time with Jay Massey and the Cash Flow Diary. When you have a moment, please visit iTunes and leave a positive comment about the show. And go now to our website, cashflowdiary.com, to take advantage of our free business building course, Cash Flow Foundation. Gain the knowledge, understanding, and skill that will teach you how to never need a job again. Until next time.